here's the strategies that the child development experts have published, and I've got some modifications in here for which ones of those are most appropriate for someone who's fetal alcohol. I mean, it's not just supervise, supervise, and prevent, but it is important to supervise. Okay, everybody has a consensus that it's very important not to overreact, not to shame, not to blame these kids, because then it'll become very quickly much more than what it is. It'll become an emotional conflict issue. But they also all are in consensus that we mustn't underreact, and you have to deal with it when it happens, because there's other kids around and they have to see as well that the rules apply to everybody. There's a consensus that you need to disapprove of the action and correct the action, and that you have to be consistent in your response. Number one, it has to be returned, always, or if you don't know who to return it to, it doesn't belong to you, and if it's been consumed or broken, there has to be restitution, because that's the way the world works. And it doesn't have to be bad you, it just has to be, that's not right. This, and we repeat to person, this belongs to somebody else, and we teach the concept, just like we teach personal and private for older kids, we teach belonging and ownership. Yours, not yours. It's better to say yours than not yours, because yours I understand, not yours means a little bit more abstract. So what's a strategy that would go along with that with a young child? Is I would have everything that belongs to this kid marked with their name or a blue dot or something that says yours. And then they can get a rule that's visual and concrete in the immediate moment. If it's yours, you can do whatever you want with it. Does it have a blue dot on it? Does it have your name on it? Not yours, leave it alone. The rule is you have to ask before you put your hands on anything that isn't yours. At the same time, in an environment where this is going on, you get all the other kids to have their name on the things like the iPods or the book or the pen or the whatever the thing is that the kid might take, so that it's simply a flat, matter-of-fact, who does this belong to? Oh, that's Joan's. Okay, let's give it back to Joan. Where's yours? Oh, there's yours. This is the one that you use. I want to use that one. You have to ask permission. So we have to show them, model them, demonstrate to everybody around. They're not going to get the concept of belonging. And if developmentally they're 10 working at a grade 3 or 4 level, but emotionally they're still egocentric and self-centered at a 5 or 6 year level, we're just going to repeat it ad nauseum. And we're not going to get emotional about it and upset about it. We're just going to correct it, you know. The experts tend to agree. Don't look for a confession. They say don't ask why, because they won't know, or if they do know, they won't tell you because they don't want to get in trouble. Matter of fact, I didn't do it, doesn't matter if you did. It's in your possession, has to go back. In your possession, has to be restitution. Do we ask for an apology or not? This is a big one for a lot of people. Some people say yes. I would say with a kid with an ordinary developmental process, sure. If they got right and wrong, if they know the moral principle involved, they shouldn't do that. If they can relate to how would you feel if that was yours? Now for a kid who can't relate to how, this is very abstract, how would you feel if they did that to your doll? How would you feel if they did that to your toy? I don't know. They probably don't know, right? But I wouldn't feel very good. That child I can ask to make an apology. Did you mean for them to feel that? That's how they feel. Did you mean for them to feel that way? No. Oh, okay. Well, you can tell them you didn't mean to hurt, you know, to make them sad that their doll got broken. See, that makes sense. In the context, that makes sense. But for a kid who, I don't know, it's just an action that you're getting them to do. And it doesn't have educational meaning. You can still ask them to do it if you want to, but don't expect that it's going to mean something if they don't get what goes behind it. Okay, the experts all agree, don't bring it up again once it's been brought up. Sometimes people say, I don't want to see this again, and they harp on it. You want to not chase the behavior. You don't want to become focused on the vigilance, is this person stealing, you know, for whatever these other purposes. Just deal with it, you know. Give it back. You don't get to keep it. You have to pay for it if it's broken or if you ate it. Well, how do I have the money to pay for it? Well, we'll give you a little job that you can make some money to pay for that, and that money goes there. Are they going to learn not to do it because of that? I don't care. I still am modeling to everybody in the environment. This is ownership, possession, rules for what happens. And then they just, eventually you come up to them and says, is that yours? Oh no. And they go over and they put it back where it goes, which is exactly what you want. Okay, now we've also got people labeling everything. All right. Another very, very important piece of this. Never do it in public. If you're going to talk to a kid about something that they took and you want them to take it back, if you do it in public, now they got an audience, and it could take on other meanings. It could become power, it could become attention. If you and I do this together over here in private, did you know that Susie felt really bad when she couldn't find her thing? No, I didn't know that. Because these kids got a lot of empathy. Did you mean for her to feel bad? No, I don't want her to feel bad. It'd be nice to make her feel good, wouldn't it? Yeah, okay, let's give it back to her because she thinks it's lost. She got in trouble when she got home. You didn't want her to get in trouble, did you? No, I didn't. So in fact, what we do is we fake empathy with them so they can model our empathic response, and then they can go fix it. Thank you for caring so much about Susie's doll. You know, she did not want to lose that, and she did not want to get in trouble with her mom for doing that. And I know you won't take her doll next time because you know it's hers and that this is yours. So now again, we reinforce the concept of ownership and that you know the right thing to do. You know, I've set the expectation for you. What if I am the teacher and I've had to do this 100 times? Do it 110. Right? Because the emotion has nothing to do with it. Only the process, only the concept. Because they're going to be 25 someday. And they have to be very, very rehearsed in the rule and the ritual. Okay. What if that's not good enough? Supervise them. You got to supervise it. Because it's a stimulus response kind of thing. Even if they know all of that stuff, they may not remember it. Even if they knew it was wrong yesterday, today they might not be thinking about it. And then if you ask them, what's the rule? Oh yeah, that's one of the things I'm not supposed to do. Okay, so now they go and do it. You know, if they give it back, as most of these kids do, as soon as you ask them about it, you know it's not a behavioral thing, it's just a opportunistic, momentary thing.